So which Sun and Moon Pokemon booster box had the biggest percentage growth in 2024, having capital growth of almost $1,000? A few days ago, I dropped a video talking about the worst to best performing Sword and Shield Pokemon booster boxes in 2024. Today is all about Sun and Moon. Now, the Sun and Moon era was obviously just before Sword and Shield. It went from 2016, late 2016, to late 2019. There are 12 regular sets that all had booster boxes. Again, we're not talking about special sets, holiday sets, no hidden fates, etc. Today is all about the 12 Pokemon booster boxes from the Sun and Moon era. We're going to go from the worst performers in 2024 to the best performers in 2024. Let's get into it. Okay, now before we get started with the Sun and Moon booster boxes, guys, in the Sword and Shield Pokemon booster box video I did a few days ago, I made a horrible mistake and I completely left out Rebel Clash. I did 11 booster boxes. At the time I was thinking, why am I doing 11? There should be 12, right? I completely missed Rebel Clash in that video. Here it is here. It's the worst performing Sword and Shield booster box. It would have went last on the list. I would have spoken about it first on that video had I remembered it. It's literally flat on the year, 0.03%. It is dead flat on 12 months. By far the worst performer and actually behind Darkness Ablaze. If we go back 6 months, it's up 7.8% in 6 months. But of course, over the 12-month period that I covered, Rebel Clash was the worst. I apologize for missing this on the last video, guys, but there it is, Rebel Clash, the worst of the worst from Sword and Shield. Let's get straight into Sun and Moon. Ultra Prism, the worst performing Pokemon booster box from the Sun and Moon era. I think this is a bit of a shame. Ultra Prism is not a horrible set. And out of all these sets I'm going to show you, let's just go through it. It's up 6.5%. It's up 6.5% in 12 months, guys. You know, $662 a year ago and now $705. It's gone up about $40 in 12 months. Now, this set is very trainer heavy, trainer card heavy. Here's the top chase cards, high to low from Ultra Prism. Ignore that second card there. That shouldn't be in there. That's a mistake from TCG player. That belongs to Celestial Storm, that Licia. But the full art trainer, the number one chase card, the Lily, $492 at the moment. 6 of the top 10 chase cards from Ultra Prism are trainer cards. So it's very trainer heavy. Trainers haven't done too well in recent years. There is a bit of a niche demand for them, I guess. I think they're bigger and more popular in Japan. But at the end of the day, this set's very trainer heavy. The top 10 cards in Ultra Prism add up to over $1,000, guys. It's like $1,030. The fact that the booster box here is $700, $705, it's one of the better value Sun and Moon booster boxes. If you don't like trainer cards, maybe you just steer clear of this. All these booster boxes I'm going to show you, even if I say they're decent value, I'm not expecting you to rush out and buy these. I think there's better options in Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet at the moment. I myself am not investing in any Sun and Moon at the moment. They're just not compelling enough. But I do think it's a shame that Ultra Prism is only up 6%. I think it deserves better. I think it's got a good future in front of it. And I think it's just overdue for growth. So when will it happen? I don't know. But it is overdue for growth, regardless of the fact that it's trainer heavy. That's the last worst performer of 2024. Let's keep going. Burning Shadows, the second worst performer from the Sun and Moon era. Again, I think that's a little bit hard done by. I can kind of see why it hasn't performed well. A year ago, this box would have cost you $412, now $448. It's up $45, $46 over the course of an entire year. Now, if you bought this a year ago for over $400 US and it was still sitting at mid-4s a year later, you'd be like, I probably could have spent my money better elsewhere. So this wouldn't have been the best investment if you bought it a year ago. Now, I still think this has some runway in front of it long term. I feel like it's probably going to go up in jumps rather than a slow climb. And I think eventually we're going to see a bit of a spike in this. I don't know when. Again, just like the Ultra Prism, I think it's overdue for a bit of a correction. I can see why it hasn't done really well. If we look at the top chase cards here from Burning Shadows, 3 of the top 10 are energy cards. We've got an item card there. No one really cares about these cards too much. And we haven't got a lot of depth. The most expensive and the number one chase card is that Rainbow Charizard. Now, I think there was a time where buying Burning Shadows would have been worth it just for the chance that you might have that Charizard inside. And I think right now, if you were interested in buying Sun and Moon booster boxes, which I'm not really into Sun and Moon, okay, guys, I'll be honest, I'm focusing on, like I said, Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet. I think there's more upside potential there. But this is one of the booster boxes, if I was going to buy Sun and Moon, I'd be seriously considering. It lacks depth. It hasn't got exciting cards. But just for the chance that you could be sitting on that Rainbow Charizard, I think in 5 years, 10 years, that card's still going to be very sought after, and it's worth having one of these in your collection if you are a Sun and Moon collector. If you're going to buy Sun and Moon boxes, this should be on your shortlist, along with Ultra Prism and a few others I mentioned. There's others on this list I don't think are just not compelling enough. So that's Burning Shadows, guys. That's the second worst performer from Sun and Moon. Lost Thunder, the third worst performer from the Sun and Moon era, or you could say 10th on the list. Up 14% in 1 year, 14.6%. A year ago, this box would have cost you $611. It's now $701. So again, not even $100 profit in 1 year from a box that you would have spent $600 odd on 12 months ago had you bought it. I personally think Lost Thunder is not worth buying right now. I don't think it represents a really good value proposition. Does that mean you can't make 10, 15, 20% on these things year over year for the next several years? No, it doesn't mean that. It might go up 5% next year, it might be flat, it might double. I don't see it doubling. But you know, it's, these Sun and Moon sets, they're kind of, for the most part, they're kind of slow growers now. They've had their big run up and they're just trickling along now, you know. But Lost Thunder, the top 10 chase cards in this are like $580, right? For the top 10 chase cards. The booster box over $700, it's not compelling enough for me to invest in. When you look at Sword and Shield, you've got something like Chilling Reign, has $850 worth of the top 10 chase cards for a $250 box, booster box. This is backwards, this one. $700 for the booster box, and the top 10 chase cards are less than $600. To me, it doesn't make sense to invest in this right now. Will it go up in value? Sure, most of these will. But this is just not a compelling investment for me. I'm not touching it. But Lost Thunder is the third worst, or the 10th best, I think we're at. The Lugia, $152, the number one chase card. This set has a lot of those rainbow cards that are not overly popular with people. I don't mind some of them. Not all of them, but some of them I don't mind. That Mimikyu I quite like, but I mean, I'm not crazy about it. Look, the top 6 chase cards are all over $50, and the top 13 chase cards are all over $20. So it's got a little bit of depth there. It's not too bad a set. It's got some popular Pokemon with the Mimikyu, the Lugia. It's got a couple of trainers in there. The Suicune is the 5th most expensive at $53. That Lugia GX in the middle there, $39, pretty cool. But again, like, it doesn't float my boat. And moving on, guys, that's the third worst performer, or the 10th best performer from the Sun and Moon era in 2024. Next on the list, guys, we have Sun and Moon Base, the original Sun and Moon booster box, the very first one to get released from the Sun and Moon era, the base set. This thing is up 17% in 1 year. Not too bad for a base set that doesn't offer a lot. $269 a year ago, $314 now. It's up like $45. I think that works out at something like that, about $40, $45 US dollars. Now, I'm not even going to examine the top chase cards in this set, guys. The number one chase card, the Umbreon, is like $49, $50 raw, and that's the most expensive chase card. Sun and Moon Base just doesn't have anything going for it. Again, will it go up in value? Slowly but surely, of course, sure. But I'd rather put my money elsewhere. This makes the list, as I think we're up to the 4th there, if I'm not mistaken. But that's the next on the list, up 17%, Sun and Moon Base. No interest in it whatsoever. Sorry to anyone that loves it. I don't. Next, let's move on. Okay, next on the list, guys, Unified Minds. Now, this is a little bit disappointing. It's only up 18% in 12 months. That's not too bad. Like, it's not the worst result. It is consistently and steadily climbing. I just think it deserves a little bit to be a little bit further along this list. Unified Minds, a year ago, 660, now 780. So you would have made $120 profit. That's gross margin. Obviously, if you were to sell, you've got, you know, eBay fees and postage. If you sell it on eBay, I think they take 11 to 13%. Your profit margin at the end is not great, but your gross profit margin would be theoretically $120 for the year, or your capital growth is $120. Now, Unified Minds, Again, I'm not into the Sun and Moon era. I'm into Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. I've probably said that 3 times now. I promise I won't say it again. But if I was to buy Sun and Moon, again, Unified Minds makes my shortlist. I think there's enough of a compelling argument to be made to buy this one if you are a Sun and Moon collector, okay? If I was to go and buy a Sun and Moon booster box, this would probably be, I'm not going to say number 1, but maybe number 1. It would definitely be on my shortlist. Again, I'm not buying any Sun and Moon. Let's have a look at the top chase cards. Now, the top 5 chase cards in Unified Minds are all over $100. The top chase card is a trainer card. Again, it's not ideal to have a trainer card as the number 1 chase card in this climate. But, you know, there was a lot of trainer cards in these Sun and Moon sets. There just was. This is just another set where the top chase card is the trainer's card, the trainer card. This Misty's Favor, $202. I like Mewtwo. I'm a fan of Mewtwo. And we've got the Mewtwo and Mew GX, the second chase card, $183. You've got another Mewtwo and Mew down here, which is identical, but just not the rainbow version for $48. Again, the top 5 chase cards are over $100. You haven't got energy cards or item cards in those top 10. You've got some really cool artworks. Again, there's probably a few too many rainbows. Rainbows are not that popular. Unfortunately, there's a few rainbows in this set. I don't mind the Dragonite rainbow here. Like some of the rainbows, I don't mind. The Mewtwo, the Dragonite, I don't mind them. They're just not that popular. And that's probably part of the reason this set hasn't done that well. But the top 10 chase cards in Unified Minds add up to over $1,000. It's about $1,030, $1,040 for those top 10 chase cards. And I think there's real value in owning this booster box for the long term. And also, if you were to purchase Sun and Moon booster boxes, this is one I would look at picking up, guys. It's one of the better options out there, even though it hasn't had crazy growth and it's not far along the list. That's Unified Minds. I like it. Doesn't mean I'm buying it right now or ever, but I like it. Let's just say that. Next on the list, let's move on. Okay, this is insane. Crimson Invasion has had better growth in 2024 than Unified Minds or even Ultra Prism. That is so weird. Crimson Invasion, a year ago, $207, now $250. Again, it's up basically $40 in 1 year. Some of the other sets are only up sort of $40, $45 for the year, but this started from a lower base. So 20 to 21% growth in 12 months in 2024 for Crimson Invasion. I'm not even going to get into what the top chase cards are in this miserable set. Sorry to be a negative Nelly, but the most expensive chase card is $37 in Crimson Invasion. In fact, the top 10 chase cards in Crimson Invasion add up to like $160 for the top 10 chase cards. It is a weak, miserable set. I have 0.00% interest in this set. It's pathetic. I hate it. It's gone up 21%, which is extraordinary for a weak set. Look, these things happen in the Pokemon investing world. You know, sometimes crappy sets just go up in value over enough sort of time and in spikes here and there. You know, the Rebel Clash ETB is like, I haven't looked at it lately, but it's like a $300 Australian booster box. So maybe 200 US, 180 US, and there's nothing in Rebel Clash either. So sometimes these things happen. There are outliers. I think it's a crying shame that Crimson Invasion is up 21%. But hey, if you own it and it's up 21%, there you go. You should be pretty happy, guys, because that is like the 7th best performer. They're literally like the worst set ever is the 7th best performer for Sun and Moon in 2024. Okay, next we get into the top 6 best performers in 2024. Cosmic Eclipse, the 6th best performer, up 21%, marginally in front of Crimson Invasion. Can you believe it? Cosmic Eclipse is actually a really good set, in my opinion. A year ago, $857, now $1,044. It's up less than just under $200, like $185, $190. I think that works out at. This will currently cost you $1,044 US. Let's just check out some recent sales. We've got 1,075, 800, which again might be a damaged, ripped booster box or something. But basically 1,075, 1,080, 1,090. Back here you're down at 952, 950, 1,100, 1,090. But quite consistently around 1,007, even though TCG Player has it here at 1,044. But 21%, 22% growth, maybe just a little bit over that. Cosmic Eclipse, the top chase cards are here. The top 8 cards in this set are all over $100. You got that Rosa Fuller, another trainer card as the chase card. Again, those trainer cards are very heavy in the Sun and Moon era. There's a lot of them. And Cosmic Eclipse up 22%, 21%. The top 15 cards are all over $50. So quite a strong set, quite a deep set. Again, the top 8 cards all over $100. It's got some really nice artworks. That Blastoise and Piplup is really cool. Even the trainer card's quite nice. That Lily's Full Force, I think, is a pretty cool trainer card if you like trainer cards. And some of the cheaper cards down here, again, this Blastoise Rainbow one with Piplup and the Charizard and Braixen GX, I think, is pretty cool. But there you go, guys. The top 10 chase cards in Cosmic Eclipse are over $1,300, like $1,300 odd for the top 10 chase cards. The booster box, again, is $1,044, getting close to $1,100 now. So if you are looking for Sun and Moon booster boxes and you've got a decent budget and you can afford it, this is one definitely to consider. I think it's got a good future in front of it. I don't think it's necessarily overvalued so far as the Sun and Moon boxes go. There are some in here that I think are probably a little bit overvalued now. This is not one of them. This would be in my short list there with Unified Minds and Ultra Prism, for example. This is a really good one, and it's 6th best performer for 2024. So here's the 5th best performer from Sun and Moon in 2024 is this Unbroken Bonds, up 23% on the 12 months. A year ago, 598, call it 600, now 734. It's basically $135, $140 more now than what it was 12 months ago. That's not too bad. That's some decent growth. Again, these Sun and Moon booster boxes are not cheap now. The era finished, 2019, basically just over 5 years ago. So all of these booster boxes are starting to get up there in price a little bit, most of them. And this is no exception. Here's the top chase cards from Unbroken Bonds. It's not my preferred set from Sun and Moon, but it's not too bad. It's not too bad. The top the top chase cards over $250. That Gardevoir and Sylveon, $136 for the next one. The Reshiram and Charizard. And look, the top, what do we got? The top 8 cards are all over $50. It's got a decent chase card. It's got an item card here, which is like the 9th most expensive. I don't think anyone really cares too much about these item cards. But overall, it's not too bad. It's not the best, it's not the worst. And the top 10 chase cards in Unbroken Bonds add up to around $950, $960. Again, the booster box is $734. So those top 10 add up to a couple $100 more than the price of the booster box. So not terrible, but not amazing, and it's up 23% on the year. Alrighty, 4th on the list, Forbidden Light. This booster box is up 23% on the 12 months, $414 a year ago, $513 now. It's effectively up $100 capital growth in 12 months. Not bad for Forbidden Light, and I forbid you to buy this booster box. It is not a great investment. The top 10 chase cards in this set, here they are here. Here's all the top chase cards. The top 10 add up to $342, $340, with the number 1 chase card, this Lucario Rainbow card, $56 for the number 1 chase card. You know, this is, for a set that's several years old now, like $340 for the top 10 chase cards. Really? Really? We've got Temporal Forces and Paldea Evolved in Scarlet and Violet. The top 10 are worth more than this. And you don't have to spend, what was it? $500 on a booster box for those. So there's no value proposition in Forbidden Light. I forbid you to buy it. I hate it. It's a horrible set, minus the odd good card, I guess you could say. But, I'm not interested. But, hey, that's the 4th best performer from Sun and Moon. So there's a few weird ones on this list, guys. Terrible set. Decent growth. What we'll do in the next 12 months, who knows? I haven't got a crystal ball. I have no interest in this set, and I don't think it's a good investment. Moving on, let's get to the next one. Next on the list, the 3rd best performer from Sun and Moon 2024, Celestial Storm, up 28% over the 12-month period. A year ago, $660, now $850. It's effectively up basically $200 of capital growth in the last 12 months, which represents a reasonable investment. That's not too bad. Celestial Storm for $850 for the booster box. I mean, people tend to like this, and it has got a couple of decent chase cards in it, I'm not going to lie. But I still think overall it doesn't have enough depth to represent an $850 booster box. So I think it should be like a $500 booster box, guys. Plenty of people are going to disagree with that. It is reasonably popular, this one. Here's the top chase cards from that set. You've got that Licia Full Art which is the top 2 chase cards are really carrying this set. You've got the second most expensive is $112 with that Rayquaza GX, and the Lesia is basically $300, $294, call it $300 for that Lesia full art. And it's a nice trainer card, don't get me wrong. After those top 2 chase cards, this set doesn't have a lot going for it. Like $45 for this TV reporter, then you've got a Rainbow Energy card, Underground Expedition. Like it's not thrilling. The top 2 chase cards are decent, then after that there's not a lot going for it. And the top 10 chase cards in Celestial Storm add up to $650. Again, flick back here to the booster box, $850. So the top 10 chase cards are worth less than the price of the booster box. I don't think there's enough of a value proposition to really warrant investing in Celestial Storm. Though, however, the investment numbers are telling us it's on the way up. As things get older and supply dwindles, even the average sets as an investment tend to do well. And this is up almost 30%. Third on the list, Celestial Storm. The second best performer from the last 12 months, Guardians Rising. This is a horrible set. This set's up 31%. Yeah, 31% over 12 months, $470 US. This booster box is going to cost you. A year ago, it was $358, now $470. It's up like $110, $112 in 12 months. Not bad for a pretty ordinary set. Again, I'm not even going to look at the top 10 chase cards for you guys in this video. There's no point in going through them all. It's not an exciting set. The top 10 in this set add up to $250. The booster box is almost double the price of what the top 10 chase cards would cost you. So like, you'd be lucky to get 1 or 2 chase cards if you open this booster box, for example. Yet you can buy all 10 cheaper than the price of the booster box. So where's the juicy nuggets? Where's the temptation for this box to justify this? This has been a really weird list because some of these really ordinary sets have outperformed some of the strongest sets. And I think that will even out eventually. I think that'll change. But right now it's just turned out weird. Like the last 12 months have seen Crimson Invasion have decent growth, Guardians Rising have decent growth, Forbidden Light has had decent growth, and they're horrible sets. So hey, each to their own. Buy what you like, invest in what you want, and don't let me tell you what to buy or what to invest in when it comes to this older stuff, because sometimes there's just anomalies within the investment market, and you've seen that now. I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think this box, for example, will continue to go up 30% year on year. I think eventually everything's going to correct, and I don't think this is a good investment. It's not to say you can't make some money on it. I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. That's the second best performer. I can't believe it for 2024. Well, no surprises here. The best performing booster box from Sun and Moon in 2024 is this Team Up booster box. Up 48%, call it 50%. A year ago, 1989, now just shy of $3,000. This thing is absolutely on fire. We all know how good it is. Team Up is an awesome set. It's just had huge growth in 2024, 2023, and it just keeps performing. This is the king, the absolute king of Sun and Moon. Now, at basically $3,000 for this booster box, the top 10 chase cards are worth $2,500, $2,600 for the top 10 chase cards. Here they are here. Obviously, that Latios and Latios is the prize, the jewel of the crown, the prize card of this set. $1,100 for that number 1 chase card. And then you've got the top 3 chase cards are basically north of 300. That Magikarp's sitting right on 300. The top, where are we? The top 8 are all over $100, with the top one being over $1,000. So really strong set. There's no surprises why this thing's on fire, why it's so expensive. But when the top 10 chase cards are only $2,500 in this set, and the booster box is worth $3,000, again, you can buy all top 10 chase cards separately for the same price as you could buy, well, actually for less than what the booster box costs. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy the booster box. I could literally go and buy every single top 10 card from this set and spend less than I would have on the booster box. So pretty crazy price, to be honest. I don't think it's worth $3,000. Plenty of you would disagree. Look, there's no denying it is incredibly strong and it's getting old now. I think it's worth more like $2,000 or $1,500 this booster box. But hey, the market dictates otherwise, and what the market says goes. It is a $3,000 booster box, and it is destined for bigger and better things in the coming years. It's a must for every collection. I wouldn't go and spend $3,000 on this. If I had $3,000 right now, I wouldn't buy this booster box. Sword and Shield has Evolving Skies. Now, the top 10 chase cards in Evolving Skies add up to about $1,000 more than the top 10 chase cards in Team Up, and the booster box is a third of the price, give or take. I could literally buy 3 Evolving Skies booster boxes for the same price as 1 Team Up booster box, yeah? And the Evolving Skies top 10 chase cards are worth $1,000 more. So it's pretty obvious to me. If I had $3,000 to spend, it would go on Evolving Skies, not on Team Up. I think this is a bit overvalued, but again, it's probably going to trickle along, keep growing nicely and steadily, because it is getting older, supply is dwindling, and it's got heaps of hits. So that's the number 1 best performer from the Sun and Moon era in 2024. Do you own it? Do you plan on getting any of these from this list? Let me know which ones you have, which ones you're after, which booster boxes you're trying to get, if any, from the Sun and Moon era, or if you're just sticking to the more modern stuff. Thanks for watching the Chase Card, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.